Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of One More Sanchez. Today we have a special guest. We're gonna bring him in here shortly. Thank you for being on the show. You got your first U.S. fight, and it's gonna be in your hometown on February 26th. How does that feel?
Hey, excited, of course, because like you said, it's in my hometown. Finally, get the fight where everybody come out and watch me fight.
Now, a lot of people that don't know you, just a little background. You started professional at the age of 16. Your first six fights were in Mexico. You just recently turned 18. Happy belated
Thank
birthday.
you.
Fighting at home, what was that experience? Your first fights away from home?
I feel like it was the same of being in the amateur, especially me fighting in the UK as an amateur, like coming over to fight as a pro. In Mexico, it was only like in Mexico where I was fighting at, it was only like 2 hours away. It wasn't filmed somewhere like where someone can't, reach me or anything like that. Like someone can drive like from my city and come right to the fights like easily, like in the same day. I almost felt the same, especially with the fans already being there in Mexico. It was almost felt like being at home.
Was your first professional fight? Did you have fans, or did COVID miss that?
No, no, yeah, my first fight, I had a good amount. I don't remember the count, but it was a good amount. If you see it on the video, too.
Now, your fights at home, you got your family, you got your friends. Do you feel like there's going to be a little bit of pressure?
Not so much, because, like I was saying, like a lot of people, I've been dealing with almost pressure my whole life. And the only thing, like, that I think about is just letting my family and friends down. But other than that, like, at the same time, I keep the same mindset of I'm going to win. That's at the end of the day.
Now, you're so young. You're only 18. I've seen a lot of interviews. You're really humble. How are you
Yeah,
handling
yeah.
that rise to fame? Because I feel like at that age, if I was 18, you're very calm. How are you
Yeah,
handling
cause,
that?
I think it's mostly like growing up with the little fame. Like ever since I was younger, I always had that little fame. So growing up, it was like the same. And it's not like I blew up or like crazy. It's just been going like at a rate where it's almost normal to me.
One thing that people don't know also is that there's two things. Number one, your dad's your trainer, and then you also have your own promotional company. How exciting is the future for H2O Promotions?
Yeah, of course, with the team behind my back is very exciting. Like especially everybody I got around me, like is very loyal. It works hard just as much as I do. So it's like you will see the work.
Do you feel like there's been advantages to your point since you have your own promotional company to move around and pick your own fights for the future?
Yeah,
Is it preparing you?
yeah, definitely. That's one of the reasons why we made our own promotional company. It's like a few reasons, but one of them is be able to be in the driver's seat, control our own future and not be able to have to wait around and be sat on the shelf and stuff like that. Like we control the.
Is there any plan? I know you have mentioned also in the past that you want to be one of the youngest champions. Is there a projection on how many fights you want to have this year?
For the most part, just as many as I can. I feel like it's gonna be around the 4 to 6 fights this year. Hopefully, if everything goes well. The team's working on that. But right now, we still, of course, trying to get this first one out the way.
Your six fights, they're all been by knockout. Do you feel that each fight you have, it has to be knockout?
That's what I want it to be. So it's like for myself, like
Uh-huh.
I want to knock out. Of course, I want to end the fight early, like not put the decision in my judge's hands. Like I want to like get him out, but at the same time, I have to just make sure that at the end of the day, I'm doing what I'm doing right. Is carrying the fight as we grew up on a game plan.
Now, I know you started fighting since the age of 6, and now that you're 18, what new tools are you learning in each fight?
It's pretty much everything overall. I feel like the biggest impact that's going to be for me is just me growing up, like being like transitioning to like full man body. That's why I feel like it's going to be like the most impact.
How would you say your ring IQ is at such a young age?
It's very high. I feel like even not just in boxing, I feel like in general, like my IQ is like crazy. Man. I don't know if that's like something like I work on or it's just like something that's like a talent that I have, but it's pretty high.
Now,
Yeah,
how did you get the name H2O? How did that come up?
more so came from my dad. He told one day, I remember the day, it was like after school, I think. I was walking up to the gym from a walk across the street from school, and he was like, he just said it out of nowhere. And it was just saying they came up with that name because it's more so of just the way I fight. I flow.
As far as your next couple of fights, do you plan to now stay here in the States and try to have all your fights here?
I do actually want to go back to Mexico a few more times, but of course, everything more professional looking and more nicer. But because I like it out there, especially like my few times being out there, it was nothing bad for me being out there. But I want to fight like everywhere, internationally, everywhere, different states, just everywhere for the most part. I could just say
How many rounds are you?
six. I'm still fighting six. 6 rounds.
Is there any plans? Do you plan to have the 6 rounds all this year, or do you plan to move up in the next couple of fights? Any plans on that?
For the most part, it's just how things go and what the team thinks is best for me. That's all I can say for the most part. I think it's just like more of a team job to all come together and see what's.
Absolutely. Now, your dad being your coach, and is it hard to separate once you leave the gym that father-son duo than the boxer coach?
Not actually, like it's pretty much the same. Like no, this is like what we've been doing since like it's like forever almost. So that's just how we go about things like that. Just a little duo.
When you step in the ring and then you have a goal, or your father sees the fighter a certain way in round one, and you go and execute it, do you sometimes have to change it up and your dad understands as to why? Is the communication pretty much open? He lets you figure it out yourself?
Yeah, the communication is like very big on what like we do. I tell him everything in the corner. Not 1 minute, like everything that we both have to say, it comes out like automatically. It's like we understand each other quick, know how to execute it, and come up with a game plan right then and there. If you have to,
Do you feel like everything is so surreal? Or is it? Do you still process it?
A little bit, but I feel like that's almost for every year for me. I have to wait like a few more months to actually. It comes off like natural. Actually, how old am I? I still think I'm 17. Even when I was 60, I'm 15. So and then like now I'm like more so thinking like the things I could do. Like it still comes off. Oh, I forgot I'm 16. I mean 18 now. Like I can do this now. But I'm still like the same person. It's nothing really much change. I feel like, or that's going to change. I feel like going to be the same person.
Currently, what does your training camp look like right now, since it's dwindling down in the next 2 weeks? You got 2 more weeks to train. Like,
of course, just working on technique, sparring, the usual strength and conditioning. It's just working harder than the last fight, working harder than what we did the other day. Just going smart and what we do about preparation.
are you doing 2 a day still, or 3 days sometimes currently right now?
Sometimes. That sometimes depending.
And then when it's fight week, how does that kind of go?
Yeah, it kind of changes. I feel like that's kind of the same thing. I listen to my dad or coach for the most part, the team, and whatever he thinks is kind of best. Like, okay, like that's enough. Like you feel sharp enough, or be a little bit more. It's just whatever he says. So like the same thing. I don't really know too many days like when I'm gonna spar, what I'm not, what I'm gonna do this day. Whatever they think is best.
Okay, perfect. Let me switch a little gears and let's talk about the actual day of the fight. Where can the fans find you? And I also know that talk about your giveaway that you're doing for the fans that's out there.
Yeah, you can definitely on my Instagram. It's a link in the bio. And you can go ahead and click on that. You'll be able to purchase the tickets in Pomona, California. If you're from the city, it's a must to come out because everybody, majority of them, I feel like, to support me, and that's the way to go.
What is the number one thing you look forward to after this fight, once it's all said and done and you fought at home?
Number one thing I feel like doing like another one more day and enjoying my birthday. I feel like because I still have to watch my weight during the day of my birthday, like not be able to do like things I want to do actually. So I have 1 or 2 more days in between my birthday, back to work. Yeah.
All right, then what I'm gonna do real quick, I'm just gonna ask you a few questions, quick answers, okay?
Okay.
For fans that are gonna get to know you, what is one thing you want them to take a notice to you that separates you from your weight class currently right now?
The H2O part. I feel like water. You can see in the style when I fight, it's just different. It's not just like I would say old generation boxing style. Everything is just in a mix.
Growing up, who was someone you looked up to as far as fight film or boxer that you looked up to?
Floyd. That's like, I was never into boxing like that so much. So like the only person I really looked at or watched like as a family was like Floyd Mayweather. Like that was like the biggest inspiration. One of the biggest inspirations for me.
Currently, what's a song that you listen to when you're working out? What's a song that motivates you that you have on repeat on your playlist?
Right now, it's a few, depends on the day. But like the first thing to think of, I think it's gonna be like a walkout song. So a guy named like from Chicago, G. Is there a guy named G? But if not that, then I'm just like more so. I'm not really like a one person type of song or like favorite artist. I go about everything like Lil Baby. Like I'm an R&B too. So I just whatever I'm feeling the day.
Whatever's in the mood. And then one very last thing, is there any sponsorships or any shout outs you want to give to?
Yeah, definitely. I want to give out the shout outs to all my fans that actually joined the live. That's another big support from everybody. And I would like to also support people that purchase their tickets because that just showed me how much you care and support my journey of boxing and be there from the start.
Good luck on the 26th. I'm looking forward to your journey. You have a good one. Thanks for your promotional company.
All right. Peace out.
Take care.